Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Because again, and I'm sure as the competition rolls on, we will get to learn a lot more. It's not only the Ghana Women's League or structure that has seen some mass improvement or development, but the other countries are also catching up. Like I told you, the Nigerians have won this back to back to back 10 times. They won it the first 5 editions. There were no challenges until Equatorial Guinea broke the jinx. The South Africans also broke the jinx, you know, wanting to develop the women football levels at their respective countries. So we'll take a look at how the North Africans have done it through the Algerian ladies, the Phoenix, who have also at least carved a niche for themselves when it comes to this competition. Right now, when you talk about football, men or women, there are no pushovers. No. Everybody has risen to a certain respectable and appreciable level. So everybody is feared. Later on, we'll see, like I said, the Algerians, the Senegalese in action. Let's see how the Senegalese game has developed. Let's see how the Algerian game has developed. Let's get into the game and find out which of these two powerhouses will set the ball rolling in terms of some positive results for this Women's Championship. Women's Championship should have been held earlier on, but because of the delays and the postponements, we are now having it. And it's a very good time. It's coming after the FIFA World Cup. So there's a lot more concentration on the women now. So Algeria versus Senegal coming up. Nana, what do we know about these two female sides? What's their strength? What's their weakness? I think
they are strong side. You know, aside Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, these are some of the nations who are improving in terms of women football. I remember the last edition, Algeria was one of the teams to beat. In fact, they played throughout the tournament without conceding within 90 minutes. So for you to eliminate Algeria, you need to go the extra mile, the extra time to eliminate them. That should tell you African football in Algeria is improving. They keep their shape well, a well-coached team right from their defense to their attack. That is one thing that is helping the Algerian team. One thing they lack is goal scoring. Per what I watched in their qualifiers in the last AFCON tournament, goal scoring was a major problem for the Algerian team. For Senegal, it cut across all their junior team to the senior team.
Forward at the revival of the Kenyan Women's League because it's seen some mass improvement. I'm looking forward to those individual players from Malawi who are also now catching us. Pamela, it looks like in Africa, when it comes to women football,
I think so. You know, even qualifying to this level shows that the people, the ladies are determined.
Okay.
And so for me, I think we'll have a lot of interesting games to watch. For instance, this Algeria-Senegal game, they are the, I think, 9th and 10th, and then the FIFA ranking 82nd and 83rd.
Okay.
So you can see how close they are, the level for both teams. But the most interesting thing is for the Algerian team, they have a strong defense, and Senegal have strong attack. They are goal scorers. So imagine what kind of game we'll have. Whereas those who are defending will be defending, which means they don't want to be scored. And like Anna said, the qualifiers, they don't concede much. So I think this game will be a very tough game, and I look forward to who will be able to break through. And like he said, it will not be easy for any team. Yes.
Algerians. They're coming up against a Senegalese team who have a few advantages. One, they are Algerians. They're coming up against a Senegalese team who have a few advantages. One, they are tall. Two, they are also physically strong, you know. So we will see a lot more, maybe some flair on the part of the Algerian side and some toughness on the part of the Senegalese team. But Pamela, if you have two teams who played variedly and they have different structures, sometimes what are some of the areas you look out for? The Senegalese will say, okay, we've got the build, the strength, the physique. We've got the speed. The Algerians will say, okay, we have the flair, we have the ball control. Normally, which one comes in as one of the key areas to look out for?
Well, basically, football is our goals. So no matter how much you defend, you would want to get a goal.
You have to.
Definitely, because to get a point, you need a goal. And if they sit back in Senegal, because this striker, Ndiaye, if you watch her highlights and the goals she scores, she can even play from behind the 18 right into the post. So you can rely on the defense and say that you are defending all through and through. There will be a need to push forward and score. So in games like this, we are looking for the outstanding players. I am looking at the number 17 in Algeria.
The Algerian team.
Even though she's a fullback, she has some.
She also likes to surge forward.
And their last friendly game, I think she wasn't part of the team.
Okay.
So I want to see how she'll stand up to them today. And then hopefully maybe if they play on the break, they can.
And I think the timing of the competition too will favor them because it's not so hot this time around in the northern parts.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, so for they would
Pretty
have.
ladies, isn't it? I just don't get why
But you see,
the
it's
Westerners don't want to dress up.
We are not too fussy about our youth players.
Yeah.
I think it is because they already have the flair, they already have the skill, you know. Whereas when you go to the North African parts, they put a lot of emphasis into how they coordinate the players on the field of play. And Nana, I saw you smiling a lot because there were a lot of smiles on the faces of the Algerian players. But you can't tell me that they are finer than us. We have some fine players. And when Ghana plays, you see the difference. You see, fortunately, Nana, you remember one of the last matches you and I went to the stadium to watch our under-20 team. Look at the quality of the Black Princesses. And these are the same players who will take over at the Black Queens level.
And that Black Princess team, 90% were local players.
Exactly.
The same thing today in the Black Queens. 60% are foreign players. So it tells you how football has, improved when it comes to
developed.
African football. Look at the Senegalese team. Tactics will work today.
Okay.
The coach had decided to go for a 4-4-2 diamond. It means compact midfield, keep his shape. One thing that will work in women's football is the ability of the team to keep their shape very well.
Okay.
Tactically disciplined and make sure you get the best out of the individual players. Most women's football doesn't do well on, individual brilliance. It depends on, the strength of your team. Whether you are coming from a set piece angle, you are going direct, or you have players who can make sure they hold on to the play. That is one thing that works in women's football. The Algerian team will go for a typical 4-3-3.
4-3-3.
Typical 4-3-3. So you are going to see a tactical balance in today's game. It's going to be an interesting game.
Very interesting, yes.
And the head coach of the Senegalese team, Cisse, has also been around with the team for a while. So she has also helped with the development of some of the players. And so it won't be surprising if they should start on a very positive note.
Yeah, my stake is on Senegal, though. But
your pick will be on Senegal.
Yes, because they score a lot of goals.
They score, yes. I mean, if you even take a look at their last games they played prior to today's game, it's not been 100% performance for them. But whereas when it comes to on the field in terms of delivering, they have the female players.
But one thing about tournaments and qualifiers, when you play to the occasion, sometimes the best in you during the qualifier, you don't see it in tournaments.
That's true.
So that is one thing that affects most of these teams when they're going for major tournaments. But when you look at the Algerian team, because they were there the last time, they were a difficult side to beat. They will keep the same shape.
The same shape.
That is the most important. Maybe personnel may change in terms of certain positions, but how they keep their shape and get the best out of individual players, that is where the coach will be coming from. But once you have a Senegalese team who can score from all angles, they have confidence that when they meet any other team, they can score.
And Pamela, before we probably join the feed, I mean, what worth is the fact that individuals like you, scouts, agents, some of these competitions is probably the moment for you to identify some of these players in their natural habitat, in their natural formative, combative styles, so that it also helps to increase the availability of African football, female footballers. Because Nana passed a comment. If you take a look at our team now, 60% thereabouts are all foreign based. Back in the day, we used to have a lot more local and a lot less foreign. But it looks like things have changed. Is it because of what we are doing in terms of reshaping women football? Or are we doing something extra, the coaches, with the players, so that it is bringing out the best of the players, even when they play on the local scene?
Yes, I think we are investing more into the game.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I was shocked that you are the live coverage for the entire tournament.
Yeah.
So people will get a chance to watch, the ladies. And so somebody maybe he's not even interested in the female football. He doesn't have the chance to go and watch the league somewhere. Yeah. Well, for people like us, I like the younger players.
Exactly.
So for me, I like to go and watch the princesses, and then especially in their local leagues.
Their local leagues.
I like to watch them from where they start from, because you get to see what is ahead in the future. But for others who don't have the chance to, a tournament like this, they'll be able to watch. They'll be able to see the quality that the ladies have. Yeah. And I'm sure it adds to the value and the worth of the ladies.
True.
And so I think we've gotten to that stage where there's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of media, and then coverage. And so that's what contributes to
we will do our possible best to ensure that we also throw our weight towards the development of women football, like we've been doing with our coverage of the Women's Premier League. It's now time to cross over to Casablanca for the opening match of this WAFCON tournament for the year 2026. It's Algeria taking on Senegal. Let's join the action, and we'll be back your way again at halftime.
Our referees, well, a mixture from right across the continent, north and south, east and west. The main referee from South Africa, much experienced in the league there, and of course continental competition, ably assisted by Zambian official, another South African and Nigerian. Our VAR team as well, good mixture from Swaziland, Malawi also, as they keep an eye on proceedings and check if anything untoward goes on, or maybe just back up or change a decision or two. Well, we saw plenty of that during the World Cup and over various football leagues across Europe and the world. Throws up a little bit of controversy now and again. Always a bit of interest and always a talking point. As the referee calling in our two captains. Goalkeeper, captain for Senegal, 36, hugely experienced as we look for their lineup. In goal, once again, number 16. Unusual, both teams have number 16 in goal. Back and across the middle will be two of those defensive players for and the Army. Diop will be the main striker. With four probably dropping in maybe a little deeper. So we are set. The music in the background signifies we are almost ready to go here. First game of 34 across two locations in a fantastic footballing country, Morocco. The countdown is on. Algeria get us underway against Senegal in the Women's African Cup of Nations. Another hopeful ball forward. Pretty straightforward for Senegal to pick up, who start with a nice interchange of play, and our first foul committed. Sarani and Bendris colliding. Bendris, who plays football in France for Caen. On the continental stage here, goes for the long ball forward. And why wouldn't you, with the likes of Diop there at 185 metres? Definitely going to be a target for the team, and you can imagine they will look to find her as often as possible and then pick up the bits in and around. Tiny forwards, easy for the goalkeeper to deal with. Ghazi Boomerang. One of the many players here who plays in France for both teams. Big diaspora from both countries means that both sets of players are often born or definitely play their football in France. Algeria being particularly cute about searching for players who've got Algerian relatives in France and picking up players, and Senegal the same. We've got former youth internationals for France on both sides here that have decided to make the switch in the senior game and are now playing in the continental competition. Senegal get the first break down the left-hand side. Well, it's very nicely done. Calm, cool defending there by Smith-Orangi. Sertu back. Goalkeeper, maybe just to give it a touch. Cardi. Two centre-backs and the two full-backs are very high up. Senegal, that's poor defensive work. And there's a chance now on space on the left-hand side. Cross maybe could have done with being a little more towards the 6-yard area. Very difficult with players going backwards to try and connect and hit the target with any real pace. Number 9 wants to be attacking that 6-yard box, and as we look at this cross again, you'll see it was rather behind the players rather than for them to really charge onto an attack. And credit really, Ngaru. That's it. Connect with it, and that's a step back to do it, so hence no power. Well, Senegal once again on the charge. Oh, that's cool, calm defending there. Lumu taking a central role there in a narrow back line for Algeria. Nikos can't keep possession at the moment. Well, that's shot in hope more than anything else. It's a round of applause, probably a little more than it deserved, I would say. It was well wide. Philippe Titi, a man who's seen success in France, and just said to the reporter before the match, just for the players of their life, but it's going to be one of the moments of their life, and they should just try and soak it in and enjoy it. At the moment, they're just soaking up Senegalese pressure. Only done in defence. I have a feeling this will go longer. Potentially needs to. Well, you can see they're trying to play it out to the back. It is risky business, especially with that high press of Senegal. Foul committed, so it gives them a little bit of respite. Let me see, been in charge since 2019. Seen it and done it. Senegalese women's football when he first came into being in 2002, which was famously the year that the Senegal men's team beat France in the World Cup. Before that, it was regional football. So they've come a long way in really a short space of time, 24 years. To be a strong team on the continent, one of the powerhouses, which is obviously Nigeria and Morocco. But they're knocking at the door. Quarter-final appearances before. Again, more industrial in the clearance of defence there. 11 Boussat, just not giving a second in that midfield area. Now that bounce luckily. Situ goes back, and back once again to the goalkeeper, Cardi. Again, they're looking to get the ball forward quickly. Start with the intent to attack it. Playing as you would expect, Algerian, a very defensive team. There's the hashtag you want to get involved on socials. Nothing with defensive work. They're quite deep here. When we start here, by the way, just 20 years of age. Again, another player who plays in France for Nantes. Another one they picked up from the diaspora. Some of these African teams are very cute now about making sure they spend time in Europe and approach players early so they can come and represent either their parents' or grandparents' team. There's rich pickings in that French league. course, these two teams are French-speaking, so our players will understand each other perfectly, unless the Algerians decide to switch it to Arabic. Throw on the far side. Not too many Algerian players are. Bisaha, once again. She's a neat and tidy player in midfield, but she's not being given an inch of space so far. Oh, that was tenacious. And Braham gives away the foul. Well, she was just trying to pile through, and then it's the little tug on the short of Asatu. Guna, the record scorer for her country. Also plays in France, surprise, surprise. Only 3 Senegalese players in the entire squad who play in their home country, and of course they will be no doubt looking for a move abroad to the big European leagues. And again, it's from distance, and again, it's wayward. You get the feeling getting their eye in here, Senegal dominating in this first 7 minutes or so. Goalkeeper decides to go long, probably wise, bit of respite. And again, Usaha involved in the central area. But they can't really together at the moment, Algeria. Senegal are bossing. They look physically bigger and stronger, and technically as well. As I say, as they kick the ball out of play, commentators curse, of course. Technically, they do look better apart from that moment. So throw in Algeria. And they're looking forward all the time, but there's not a lot on, so they go longer. Ball back and again a few metres, but then concede the throw. A bow with a throw. Not a big attendance here, but a few fans enjoying themselves on the far side in the sunshine. The covered side of the stand we're looking from here. If the camera pans out, you'll see the huge stadium that will be used in the 2030 World Cup in Rabat. It's the baby sister, if you like, but still holds 21,000 people when full. Twist and a turn. It was. But she can't really either get a foul or find a way through. Just a game of catching a metre or two here and almost throw-ins moving forward, almost like rugby. Johnny with the throw. And once again, a few metres and throw again. Yorker captain with the clearance, a little shove there. Showing people who's boss. Short time, but that was pretty obvious offside there. And he maybe should have been a little cuter with a pass. I suggest that Nguna should have been a little cleverer with the run. So free kick in the bottom corner. I get the feeling this could come back if it goes long. Indeed it does. And again, meterage gained, but no real flow and coherence to the play so far. Gorka, 36 years of age, been there, seen it and done it. First ever African player to play in the Premier Division in Spain. The sport, you would say, in Africa is a little bit behind European and American models, but fast catching up. Biggest ever tournament here with 16 teams in it. Up from 12. Senegal have a chance to break on the left-hand side, which they do. Again, the cross not really there for the players to attack. Again, Odovine loved that little more in front of her, so she could have attacked it. Uzar loses out. Scrappy in the middle. Referee's whistle. And the wayward shot saves Algeria. Diop be slightly disappointed she didn't hit the target, but no doubt one ear on the whistle, which threw concentration ever so slightly. Oh, foul in the central there, you take your pick. Yep, definitely offside. It was given as offside. Passahar has definitely been Algeria's player who's had the most touches so far. Offensive. With it though, chance to break maybe. Passahar, nice and neat once again in that central area. Oh, that was a decent ball, but just couldn't quite find Bethy on that left-hand side. The referee whistling for the foul. Knock to the face. And first yellow card is issued. He's the most experienced player. And striker. Well, first time her name appears on a graphic, not for a goal, but for this yellow card. Just reached across well. Painful, you'd say. Especially if you spent some money on dental work, you won't be happy with that. Bellamau it was who took the knock to the face. She's up again, she's okay. I don't think the veneers are damaged. Therefore, actually played for France, different age groups. Now representing Algeria. Goes for the long ball. It's going to be difficult against that pretty tall Senegalese defence. Case of picking up the second balls, which they don't. Senegal do. Nice interchange of play on that left-hand side, where they've had a lot of joy so far. Eventually winds up with the goalkeeper. Ghazi Boumarat, to be fair to her, she's not had too much to do, despite the fact that it's been Senegal really who've had most of the possession and spent most of the time in her half. A couple of shots that have gone wayward from outside of the box. Apart from that, there's a few defensive duties to deal with in terms of that he's playing back to her. So it's either Sao on the ball here. One of the few to actually play in Senegal. Goes for the height, of course. And they'll win a lot of headers in 185. You can't miss it. But I would suggest maybe some of these crosses are a little deep. Maybe more attacking. Maybe you could swing that slightly more in towards the penalty box and really hurt these big, strong, aggressive Senegalese players attack the ball. It's rather jumping from standing at the moment. Not going to do too much damage, and I'm sure Algeria will be very happy with that. How they keep them in defence, the better. It did look like handball for a second. That's because it was. Once again, it's quite deep with the shots. Eventually, referee gives a free kick. So possession-wise, Senegal so far dominating. No real meaningful shots with it though as yet. A few crosses that resulted in headers and shots that have been pretty weak. One saved by the goalkeeper straight at it. I think they've settled a little more into this, Algeria. Opting to go a little longer this time rather than trying to play out defence because they were playing a quite high pressure game, Senegal. Now the conditions are suitable for that because it's not too warm. You would expect North Africa this time of year to be really, really hot, but mid-20s. Dropping down as the shadows cast across the pitch, showing the sun is fast disappearing and of course nicely shaded on this side as well. So great conditions to play your football. Now we just need the entertainment to kick in. Hussaha. He's been pretty good so far, but always crowded out in defence and losing a dangerous area in the midfield. The space on the left once again for Senegal. Nicely done. That interchange of play. The cross this time, well, he was in the right area in terms of being nearer to the goal, but way up and over, almost like a... Seems to be a little more measured in their approach here, Senegal. I think they will get some success. Korkat, captain, will be disappointed with that cross. She was falling over, she hit it, so he took it up and away. Lusans, who dropped out to the left to find a little space. She's a neat player, isn't she? But again, it's a weak ball towards her, and it put her in trouble all the time. You need to interfere there, and she's got the technique just to either move it back or hold on to the ball, but you've got to play it into it neat and tidy again. That's a good ball into that central area. Boussard waits on the left, but just can't get together that sequence of passes I'm sure they'd love. Good defensive work. Very good defensive work. Smith-Sarangi and a vital interception. Corner Senegal. They've got the height. Just need the delivery. There is the delivery. Well, it's good defensive work by Algeria just to get it away. Again, maybe a little too much height on the cross. Maybe more zip needed. Has this got it? Well, they're being very brave in defence there, Algeria. You can see just, even from a distance, they're giving away a lot of height. They're making it difficult for their opponents and putting bodies in where it hurts. Well, Kitty it was in that case. Not the tallest of players, but just got a flicked header, did something, and it was enough. You got Sal lurking behind you. Again, he's a tall player. You have to do something. He's getting forward quite a lot, actually, Sal. Defensive stalwart, but Coming forward into the attack, and you can see the tactic, can't you? You can see the difference in stature. They can see it. He's giving away so much physically, except make a nuisance of yourself and put the opponent off, and so was definitely put off there. Over 80% of these Algerian players come from French academies, like of Lyon, PSG, Montpellier, Clairefontaine, of course the national academy, and they haven't quite been there for the French national team. Algerian FA have been in there just to coax them to playing for their parents' country or indeed grandparents' country, and it's starting to pay dividends. Of course, with a coach who's very experienced in the French league, he will have plenty of contacts there, and I'm sure we check in every single season, checking the underage French national team for any Algerian descent players, and maybe putting in a phone call or two. They made it to the quarters. Semis will take them to the World Cup this time. You have to say Kenya will be the potentially weakest team. Usahad as well. Well, there's a little bit of space and time there. The three players there, maybe someone should have dropped in on the right-hand side. Chance to break now for Senegal. It's an excellent run. Again, white shirts are back. Look how narrow that defence is there. Four players within 15, 20 metres of each other in terms of width. There's no way through that. That's why the wide areas are being used, particularly the left-hand side by Senegal. But you have to say, maybe switching it right to left will be a way of opening up that defence. It's quite predictable so far from Senegal. Well, can we get a bit of unpredictability here in the corner? Needs a bit of magic. Get out of there. 2 versus 1. Well, you can't get through for your cross. Second prize will be the free kick. Abraham did well to hang on to the ball there and just lured in her opposition. So almost a corner for the free kick. Too many in the box, just 4 at the moment, Algeria. I'm surprised they need a wall of 3 there, really, Senegal. And again, it's the size that counts. No, they don't feature amongst the goals here in Algeria too much. But defensively, it's their first shot in anger on target. Very routine for the goalkeeper, Kawi. She made sure they're just pushing it wide rather than trying to hang on to it and bobble out of her grasp. Takes that little horrible sort of bounce just in front of her, so better safe than sorry. As you can hear there, she's moved the microphone. Going in, we'll see what the signal means in a second. No, don't think it meant. Rather wasted. After certain corners, it will be second balls that would be potentially where Algeria will get their success, but if you don't get it in there, in the mixer, as they say, not a lot's going to happen. There's our shots. Realistically, 1 each on target. Plenty of players there biding their time. I'm sure they'll get their chance. 26 players featuring each squad. Quite a few injuries, actually 4 for. So may present opportunity for some of those players on the bench. Chance for the cross. Again, it's a better cross. And header from Diop. Posing in danger. You get the feeling he's getting a little bit closer. Not quite hitting the target, but again, that cross, I'm sure she would have liked it just to maybe a step more in front of her. She could really attack it. You see when she was jumping there, it was almost hanging in the air to try and direct it on goal, which is very, very difficult. A foul and a plea of innocence in the midfield. So, plea to innocence. And just slowly gets to her feet. Well, you spot the difference in size there. Who me, ref? Just a tickle. It comes out, not very convincing at all. Well, she flops almost on the ball after that, but she came out looking for the ball. Ended up finding air. Well, it's bounced off her, didn't it? It's put off, I would say, by the defender in front of her, but should have done better. Only matter. Maybe could have done with an earlier shout. Not the most convincing of goalkeeping. And one of the other few players that is based in Senegal, essentially looking for that move to Europe, as I'm sure any player based in Africa would be. Sure, she'd like to be a little neater and tidier in a play there, but scoreline in the top left-hand corner means that the goal is intact and no harm done in the end. Maybe just a little wobble of the confidence, though. And it's that left-hand side. That's the break ball held up there, really, in the grass, which is quite lush. So pretty dry as well. The conditions, not a cloud in the sky. And right on cue, not a cloud in the sky. Lovely stadium, this. This is just the baby sister one of the big one next door. Chance now, surely. There's the shot, it's a decent save. Defensive work was done there. Again, look how narrow that defensive line was for Algeria. They're not leaving a gap. Not a ball's width, they can squeeze it through. Well, that was the cross that was needed by Senegal there, just to get down the line and just cut it back so players can arrive on the ball rather than trying to go from stationary or almost behind them. They're knocking on the door. So it was there who was doing it on that occasion. If he can't keep it in play, watch this chance once again. Has to really get down the line, to cut across, and defensive work outstanding. Situ it was who got down the line really well, cut it back super nicely. And look at that for a bit of defending. Okay, take a bow. Brilliantly done. The finish, but let's give the defender credit on that one. 30 minutes gone, no goals. Thanks to Belkite. Plays for the famous Saint-Étienne in France. Really experienced player for the team. Usaha. No foul given in the central area. Definitely not happy with that. I'll agree with that. Wasn't really a foul, was it? Situ just showing his strength and cutting across the attacker. Using the body well. And once again, Boussahar clattered in that central area. She'll have a few bruises on her shins today. That one courtesy of Drami, who's now testing the patience of the referee. She does really well. Boussahar is cut across players and due to the PSG Academy. He's in Saudi League. League that's exploded onto the scene in the last couple of years by some big name players from abroad. He's a pioneer in that sense. She goes a free kick in a nice central area. Moore looks a little bit raggedy as they're setting it up there. Charlie, I think, happy now. No more instructions to be given. Concentrate on the ball. That was interesting. Referee puts the line down after they've stood rather than putting it down before. They're being told not to move, obviously, from that position. Smith-Sarangi, I think it is, on the ball. It's a strike, and it's not too far away. It's a decent save. I think they took a deflection on the way through. Kelly again takes no chances, pushing it wide. Forward it. Decent effort. Played for France previously, before switching. Now on the corner after that free kick. Up and under. Up and away. Yeah, well, the weak corner into the side netting and the near post, and stronger corner, but weak in a different sense. Lifting all the way across the goal as we watch that strike once again. The goalkeeper's feet weren't particularly coordinated there, but she gets away with it. Defensive work at the back once again. Smith-Sarangi. Got to do it. That's a lovely turn in that central area by Braham. One of the only players here to play in the Turkish league, actually. No chance to break now. 3 versus 3. 3 versus 2. Good defensive work. Boussahar and Remo with a missed coordination by her. Just couldn't control the ball. It came off her as well, so it'll be a Senegal throw. She disputes it. Have you ever seen a player agree with the referee wholeheartedly? Yet to happen. The referee's controlled it okay so far. No need to call on VAR at any point. A bit of flow to the game. Well, was desperate defending, really. She looked fairly calm and confident there. Balumu. But eating up the meters behind it. Cassette. So it ended up being a more desperate clearance than it should have been, I think. Well, it's a bit wobbly, that throw, but referees are inclined to give foul throws nowadays. Ball out to the right hand side, the chase is on. Senegal win it. Algeria, despite less possession, with those 2 shots on target. Keepers had to push them wide on both occasions. They couldn't capitalise on the corner. Nobody would be disappointed with that. Poor control. Senegal once again down the left, but no space available. Lovely little turn there. Maradona turn. Chance to build on the right-hand side now for Algeria. There's one player in the centre, Boussahar. And defensive work had to be done, and it was done. Sane it was, who was across from that full-back position to clear it. See, a bit chilly there. They got using the flag as a blanket in the stands. Chilly by North African standards, that is. No doubt that wasn't a foul. Fur got the ball before she got the player. Throw Algeria, which are taking their time on here. Not foul in the box, but... Well, referee's points his spot here. Very interesting. Fans can't quite believe it. I'm not entirely sure myself either. Well, this could be the moment. Slowly gets to her feet. And then something's gone on off the ball. Well, it's all happening here. Let's see if we can see what goes on. So I thought potentially the foul was the other way. And there's the foul that's given. Corker it was, the captain, usually experienced, who gives it away. Just catches the heel of Abraham. A nice neat turn, wasn't it? Well, VAR will definitely, I think, look at this. The slightest of touches. And then something happened off the ball. Farid not happy. Well, we don't see any sign of the VAR official stepping in as yet. Kita back on her feet, she's okay. Coach looks incredulous, and I don't blame him, to be fair. Musa Cisse. Well, it doesn't seem to be anybody stepping in to change the mind of the official here. So the third shot she could face will be from the penalty spot, assuming it's on target. There we go, we are getting the check now. I think they will send the referee over to the screen on the touchline. She seems to be speaking to a player there, I think, rather than the VAR officials. Well, it's taken its time, hasn't it, to be checked, I would say. So you can see they're not happy still, and why would you be? It can be a very soft penalty given away or potentially overturned. Now, surely the decision here is to send it across to the screen to make her own decision. Seems to be no sign of that as yet. The plot thickens. Bench. Yeah, probably checking in. Well, decision is penalty. So referee backed up by the VAR officials. We have a penalty. The captain will step forward. Bristol City player. Fires Algerian into the lead. Well, she showed no sign of nerves whatsoever there. It took its time to the penalty to be given. She remained calm. She used her experience. And the captain's armband weighs heavy when you've got to take a penalty, but she made light work of it. So we do get our breakthrough. I was confident he struck, wasn't it? Left foot, bang. Goalkeeper, you go that way, I'll go the other. Even if the keeper had gone the right way, I think she would have struggled to even get near that. Well, that ends a drought for Algeria of over 400 minutes. No wonder they're smiling. In the WAFCON. So you'd see early running was made really by Senegal, but now Algeria have found a breakthrough from the spot. A couple of shots earlier on that the keeper had to save. Usaha. Well, this in a minute, a little bit of confidence here to try and get a bit more free-flowing football. The tide has turned, definitely, in the last 15 minutes or so. Senegal being more industrial. Well, that's really weak, isn't it? Sane looking one way. You've got to look at the ball. She'll be disappointed with that. The bench looks disappointed with that. So 2 minutes left, but I think there'll be a few minutes added for that penalty decision to actually go into play there. Potentially a foul. Boussard, maybe you'd say getting her own back there. She's been battered about in this first 40 or so minutes. And for her to dish a bit out there onto Sane, who's okay, takes the throw, no foul given. And again, Algeria build. Nice work on the left-hand side, nice interchange of play indeed. This is a nice football being played now. Really controlled. Is there a chance? There's two players free. Oh, and you'd have to say Boussard should have gone with the left foot. She knows it. And go with the outside of the right. There's always a chance it'll skim off it and go wide because you're not really connected with the inside of the foot. Well, to be fair, there was a little nick off the defender that put it off, but she knows that was a golden opportunity after a golden bit of play as well. Really neat interchange of play from left to right. Good short passing and then decisive when the space opened up. I don't know for their defensive work, Algeria, but they're looking fairly decent in attack here. Well, they're going to play it out. They're going to play it out. She's almost off the pitch. One little roll and she will be gone. But it means they've got 10 men as they build this attack, but they're full confidence, so they're going to continue on. They've got a bit between their teeth now. It's a good ball to that left-hand side. Balumi just can't find a gap for a cross, so looks to go and build again. That was rather hopeful rather than anything else. I'll be very grateful as it drops into her hands. 3 minutes of added time. Yeah, more industrial from Senegal, but look how tight that defence is there. Back four, barely 15 metres apart in width, I would say. As long as the ball doesn't go over their head, they're going to be very difficult to break down. And once again, Boussard fouled. He's used to that now. Play of the season in the Saudi Women's Premier League. Scored 25 goals for Al Nassr before joining Etihad. It's the president there in the crowd. Now this is the opening game, but the opening ceremony will be a little later on as Morocco, the host, play. So you'll get your bit of pageantry there and a show or two. Not quite sure it'll be like the World Cup half-time show, which was a very eclectic mix, to say the least. I think Ronaldinho Ronaldo will be driving a buggy anywhere around Morocco this evening. Can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure. A nice little step over and turn. So many neat players in there for this Algerian team. So they've been really schooled in that French way of playing. Well, there was a step over before that, and then nobody likes to have the mick taken out of them, so Darmy with the foul. Just a minute left. Deep breath. Kazumi, one final chance maybe. It's the old up and under. It's become a little bit bitty in the last 15 minutes or so. I had one yellow card for Nagani. And I get the feeling maybe the referee's itching to pull it out again. It's a bit of a cynical push in the back, I would say. Ajuri de Jong, you conceded.
Quatre rencontres, on n'a encaissé aucun but. Il faut remonter à 2018, à la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations 2018.
Oh, Charlie, reduce us more. They like to blink like this scoop.
1 minute.
Hello, Jimmy Flex.
Baby.
Ninkasiana.
Relax, Kofi. And how cry? Anything you want, I will sort it.
Alright, everybody, focus. It's a simple commercial. Quick.
Sound ready?
Sound always ready.
Take one.
1 minute. Hello, baby.
This your TV, dear. Ade.
Charlie, where I go get correct TV buy?
Max buy.
Baby, go to Max buy. Pick any TV you want. I will sort it. Sorry. Baby.
Oh, fridge we did do.
Fridge.
You need a new
Go
one.
to Max buy.
No, so Max buy. Fridge na ye make man. Se sani nyina kofi.
Send one, take 3. Action. Action. 1, take 15. Action. 23. Take 35. 40. 90. Send 1, take 1. Take 129. 1, take 140.
Hey. Babe, oh.
Madam, if you want mobile phones, Max buy. Washing machines, Max buy. Sound bars, Max buy. Air conditioners, Max buy. Even if you want long life and prosperity, Max buy.
Can even buy now and pay later with Max Buy.
sir.
When it comes to quality electronics, one name leads the conversation. Max Buy.
Thank you very much. It's halftime, and welcome back into our studios here at Max TV. Of course, the Women Africa Cup of Nations is on in earnest, and it's the Algerians and the Senegalese who have a date. So far, first 45 minutes have gone the way of the Algerians, courtesy a penalty goal scored by Marine Alfreda Dafer, and she is one of the expert players of the Algerian team. She plays for Bristol City. So far, so good for them. Statistics clearly give us an impression of what we've seen in the first 45 minutes. The physicality from the Senegalese has been there, but good ball control, especially by some of the Algerian players. And for those who have watched closely, you realize that it's no wonder that they've been getting the passes through together. The finishing has not been the best, but a few of the players have shown some individual brilliance in the team. I still have with me for the halftime discussion, I've got Pamela. Pamela is here with us in the studio together with Nanedu. Gentlemen and lady, thank you very much. You have watched the first 45 minutes of the game. Share your thoughts with us, Pamela. The Algerians were expected to do what they are doing. Goal scoring, like you rightly said, has been very difficult for them, and they've been finding it very difficult to even put the passes together to get into the 18-yard box. But we've seen some good ball control and some individual players who have showed that they are ready for this tournament.
Well, I enjoyed the game because I expected them to defend, but I think...
Which is the Algerians?
Yes,
okay.
But they've been impressive because beyond the defending, they play out and then they come to attack. So if you watch the last 20 minutes of the game, they were dominating the game.
They did.
And Senegal was relying on the physical strength, the height, and I think that didn't help much. Because the penalty, for instance, they could have just left the ball. They could have just left the ball, but because they have the mindset of being physical, so that's just what they did. And unfortunately for them, but Algeria has been fantastic.
Okay, let's walk through the penalty again. This was careful defending by the Senegalese, but like you rightly said, although the Algerians defend, they also love to come out to attack. And it was here at the moment that the referee blew the whistle. And the replay also gave us confirmation that there was some contact that went on in there. But you thought that the Senegalese could have left it?
Well, for me, yes, because I think she almost lost the ball there.
Yeah.
Because when she turned, she had almost lost the ball, so there was no need to touch. Because there was slight contact.
There was the slight contact there.
Yes, there.
Took the legs off, and the referee was closer to the spot. She whistled for the penalty.
One thing about defending, when you are in the 18-yard box, the strikers, they have power. So as a defender, you need to make sure,
because they know the slightest touch,
the referee will take it for them.
They can attract the sympathy.
So as a defender, you need to be careful about the tackle that you go. Yes. You need to make sure you don't touch any player in the 18-yard box, especially when now the VAR is working. Everything people can see it from the room.
Please touch the ball.
You need to be careful.
Yeah.
And that is one thing defenders need to be careful when they are in a tournament like this. And this is women's football.
Sure.
Slight touch, referee would give them advantage. And
in that situation, too.
He almost lost the ball.
Yes. I think,
so personally, I think it was needless for the Senegalese.
For the defender to
that particular defender has been like that throughout. I think she even picked up a yellow card.
A yellow card in the process.
And she's been very physical throughout the game. So we accepted that from her anyway. So,
but when you look at the Algerian team, they have the flair. Yes. They know how to hold on to the ball.
Now, I will not put the brakes on you, but their player in the number 11 jersey, Lina Boussaha, she's a wonderful player. She plays in the Saudi league, the Saudi Women's League. She's wonderful. She's got the touches, and she fights for every loose ball that comes her way.
Too.
She's pressing enough.
That is one thing football is doing in Africa.
Okay.
Women's football playing the Saudi league. It tells you how football is growing when it comes to Africa.
It's expanded.
I'm happy about that particular player. His movement, his touches, especially when he was cutting in from the left side.
From the left
side, yes.
First thing, defender, you need to target the right leg. If you are not smart enough, he's got that skill to turn you anyhow. He can cut it at any time as a winger. And that is one thing opponent defender need to be careful about this particular player. Most of these Algerian players have confidence in her that he will make the difference for their team. Yeah. So mostly when he's on the ball, most of the players monitor his movements. He is quick in transition. Anytime he's running into spaces, try to receive the ball from the midfielder. So that is one thing that most of these players need to be careful in the game.
So Nana, let me put the brakes on you there. You see, you are used to male football, so you keep saying he. It's understandable. It's understandable.
I mean, they are playing some good football.
They are exactly. They are
playing some very good football.
You see, but also like Pamela also said during our early chat we had, opportunities like this, putting some of these competitions on TV, now gives most people the opportunity to also get into the game and understand the passion that the ladies have when it comes to the game. But so far, what has gone wrong for the Senegalese? I mean, we identified that, yes, they will come in with their height, they will come in with their brute force. We've seen some hard tackles. And sometimes when the camera goes close up to the players, you realize that, look, these are players who really want to die hard for it. But nothing has gone wrong, nothing has gone well or right for them.
That is why I spoke about that before the start of the game. Sometimes the normal games that you play in qualifiers,
that you see, will not be the
occasions like
same.
this you will not see. Because most of these players, they are not used to this occasion. So when they are in a game like this, they play to the occasion. So the best in them, you see it in the course of the tournament. That is one thing most of these Senegalese players are struggle against. But the Algerian team, they look calm. They are okay. They play their normal game. Composure is there. Calmness on the ball. Possession wise, and make sure they keep their shape. That is the most important thing for their team. And I think the Senegalese need to be careful. That one goal, they can end the game with that one goal without scoring again, because they are in the lead. In the second half,
defend.
That is the most important thing.
They will defend.
And because they can hold on to the ball, the possession, I think it will be very difficult for Senegal, because they are relying on their strength, the physical appearance, the height. The height, I think, is what is worrying the Algerians. Otherwise, they would have even maybe scored more goals than
that is why in the first half you saw the Senegalese team, they were swinging in the passes to the 18-yard box, try to identify the players behind the defenders of the Algerian team. That is why the Algerian team were smart enough to make sure anytime they cross the ball into the 18-yard box, they are good in the air, because they have 12 players. When they decide to leave them to play their normal game, they can hit from them from those angles. So they are careful about their movements around the 18-yard box. But to be honest, Algeria in the first 45 minutes, they deserve to get that 1-0 win.
Okay, let's also take into consideration briefly before we join the feed in the second half, and monitoring and listening to the commentator, you realize that these are a young generation of players who don't even ply their trade in their home country. I was taking a look at the list, and most of the Algerian players are either playing in France or they're playing in England or in the Saudi, area. The French are also, the Senegalese, I should say, are also doing the same. They also have a couple of players who ply their trade outside Senegal, but of course a couple of them play in there. Again, I'm sure that there are lessons to be learned. Pamela, help us. The exposure obviously is there. It goes a long way. But you see, at the national level, you are playing as a team, or you are expected to play as a team, not as individual brilliant players. So the individual brilliance of the players, can't we see it blossom at the national level? Because when a player picks the ball, it is clear, it is easy to see that Onimbo, but Onimbo no ball. You understand? But maybe it's just the telepathy, the understanding, or the unity among the team that is not there.
For the Algerians are showing up. I mean, they play differently in different countries, but they are stringing the passes. They have the understanding. And like Nana said, the build-up is good. They are keeping their shape. But with Senegal, at a point, I thought they looked so tired and so worn out. From the first 15 minutes, they came in stronger. But like you said, you are seeing the individual play. But even now, you can't even pick out one outstanding player, as you can see.
Who has showed,
shown clearly that there is something they want. You can see the facial expression that they want the thing. But the football they are playing doesn't look like people who want the win as much. Maybe they are being frustrated by the Algerians. Maybe they took them for granted because their last game they scored them 3. So I want to believe that that's the challenge. Okay. Maybe second half they would.
All right. Second half we definitely might see some changes on both sides. It's still 1 goal to the good for the Algerians. Let's see what will happen in the second half. We'll join you again at the end of the match.
Players back out and ready to go. Well, is their favourite scoreline. They've won before, they've won by 1-0. And if Senegal were to lose this, it'd be 4 games in a row without a win.
Massive novella hwefo asempa no ni o novella watch and win aye fe aye de na aye nika she novella watch and win Thursday way any Thursday bia 5 p.m. sharp na yen diagro.
Join us as we dive deeper into your favorite Max novellas with hotter discussions, challenging trivia,
and new updates that will keep you glued to your screen. Test your knowledge, answer questions, and win amazing prizes.
Kayo, so watch and win Thursday way any Thursday bia 5 p.m. on Max TV. Watch, answer questions, and win big. Max TV novellas.
And yeah, double.
The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for the Senegalese. They lose possession to the Algerians. They tend to build up from the back. Careful build up there from the Algerians. Algerians look to break free there. Long ball into the 18-yard box. Good defending there from the Senegalese. Player is down there, playing into the referee. There comes down some spectators who are already there. Oh, there you can understand why the Senegalese player was complaining to the referee. It's a foot that got close to the head. It's a free kick to Senegal. Affected quickly there. The ball gets back to their goalkeeper, Kadifai, who finds a Sao. Sao, long searching ball there. Couldn't get to anyone there, and the Algerians who get the ball back. Good stringing of passes there from the Algerians, but the last touch got up to the Algerian player. Amira. Good way to win the ball back from the Algerians, and they are not giving any spaces to the Senegalese. You can understand what the Algerian player was trying to do there. Too much weight behind the ball. It's now an opportunity for the Senegalese. There they come from the middle. Good defending there from the Algerians. There comes the Senegalese. Try to operate from the left-hand side. This could be good for them. Player goes down, but no foul for the Senegalese. There comes the 10 for the Algerians. Some good play there from the Algerians as they tend to break free on the right-hand side. There comes Linda. Good flick there. Good defending there from the Senegal player. They might have a last touch there, and referee points a goal kick for Senegal. And that's a coach of Farid Bestimi. And yeah, you can understand that the last touch coming from the Algerian player. Activity coming from the bench of the Senegalese side. Drami goes out for Lugai to come in. And also Koka Paul comes off for Sek to come in. Last changes being made from the Senegal side. Coach Moussa Cissé looking to deploy some fresh limbs. They are trailing at the moment. 5 fouls in the eye. There comes Hal. Long pass there. So that's good reading there from the Algerians. Lovely there from the Algerians as they build up. Betty's long pass there. Not the accurate one he was searching for. Straight to Kadi Faye, Senegal. Now Sao finds Mariam. Still holding on. Pass there, finds Ndai Cassette. Set with the ball for Senegal. Love to fancy there. There was a touch there, and the Senegal players are calling for a foul. Eventually the ball goes out of play, and South African referee, let's watch here, and there was a contact there in the 18-yard box. Ooh. This could be a worrying sight for the Algerians if the center referee goes to the VAR to check on that. Referee Akona says play must continue. Throwing is affected by the Senegalese by the foul on Diop. Done 60 minutes played in the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. It's Algeria 1, Senegal 0. The Senegalese will be looking to see if they can get this one. Has the Algerians defense. Babu behind the ball for Senegal. Abu looks at a long cross there. There's the Algerians who are very alert there with their defensive duties. The official says that was way too much, an offside. Senegal with the ball. It's a good tackle there, but Algeria wins the ball and they win a free kick. See some players on the Algerian side warming up. Pretty much soon they'll have their chance. Yeah, that was a push on Bendris. Wins a free kick for Algeria. Long ball. Now is there to clear that. Still the Algerians still having the ball, and they lose possession to Senegal. Long ball there to the right hand side. See what Diop can do. Such good defending there from the Algerians, making it difficult for Senegal to have something on their defense. Ball goes back to the half of the Senegalese. Adama Sani decides to give the pass to her goalkeeper, Faye. See what the Senegalese were trying to do there, the link-up play, but they're finding it difficult on the wings. It's a throw-in for the Senegalese. Ball goes back to Senegal. The pass there couldn't reach his colleague, Babu. Many a times the Senegalese are trying to see if they can use the width play, but it has been difficult for them so far. Now let's see what they can do with this. Diop with the ball for Senegal. Finding it difficult there. The Algerians are very solid with their defensive duties. It's a throw in for Senegal. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be another throw-in for the Senegalese. Mariam Babu. Algerians read that one well, but they lose possession to the Senegalese. A big clearance there from the Algerians. Coolly done there by Ndiaye. Finds Faye. Faye also finds Sao. Good flick there from the Senegalese, but Morgan not giving any chances there. A throw-in for Senegal. Cross being swung in there. A good defending from the Algerians. The idea was there, but put too much weight behind the ball. As Senegal will build up from the back. Sal finds in Ndiaye. Ndiaye urging her colleague to set forward there. And very difficult to even string passes. Senegal, they lose their possession to Algeria. There comes the turn for the Algerians as they are stringing their passes very well. Good play there from the Algerians. Fine Bendris on the right hand side. Sensing the pass, but goalkeeper Faye read that one well. Can afford to have a smile there. Let's see what she was trying to do there, trying to give that pass there. Collie couldn't get there on time, and goalkeeper Faye was there to gather that one up. Foul. And a free kick for Algeria. With a long ball, goalkeeper comes out to make a punch. There comes a Nogoye. Good flick there from a header from Diop, but Algerians are very good to react on that. Foul. Algerians are going to see the cash being flashed there. Could be a heavy challenge there. Mariam Babu. That was a foul on the Algerian player. Mariami Babu gets into the books of the referee. Long ball there from the Algerians. Good flick there. And the defense very alert there to clear that one. And could this be good for the Senegalese? They look to break free there on the right hand side. Sensing a long cross. Good defending there from the Algerians. Calmly down there. Spoke too soon there, lose possession to the Senegalese. And there comes Senegal, Babu. Babu finds Cassel. Cassel's trying to dribble her way through, but Algeria are not going to allow that. Algerians tend to send the ball back to build up from the fence. Good play there from the Algerians. They are stringing their passes very, very well. Nice flick there. And it's the Algerians who are coming at the Senegalese on the right hand side. Is sending a cross. Good reading there from the Senegalese defender. Now here comes Babu. Babu decides to send the ball back to her goalkeeper, Faye. Faye finds Ndiaye. No Senegalese player is coming for a ball, and I find it difficult to get through. Like, there comes the Algerians. Fancies shot straight to the goalkeeper. No trouble for Kadi Faye on that. There comes Mama Diop sending a pass there, but Chloe Ngazi was there to get on that. And a ding-dong affair there in the center. Back. It could be a late challenge there, and the referee was spot on there. Foul on the Algerian player. That is Melissa Betty. Ooh, was a late challenge there on Betty, and you can understand why she's in so much pain. It's going to be another change for Senegal side, and it's Ndiaye comes out for Mbengwe. Not seeing much from Ndiaye, player that coming into this game was the leading goal scorer for the Senegal team. Only 5 goals in their name. Oh, that was close there. Kadifai does that quickly there. Center referee Akona. Whistles and having a word to the Algerian player. Yeah, that was very close there. Good header there from the Algerian player. And there comes Senegal on the left-hand side. Sends in the pass. Could this be good? Oh, straight shot to the goalkeeper. Thinking Nagoye should have done better on that. But the flag is up. Yeah, she moved too soon there. But the shot was straight to the goalkeeper of the Algerian. Understand the frustration coming from the Senegal player, Nagoye. Should have done better. Right, clears that one. Babu was stripped there. Wins a free kick for Senegal. There comes Sao. Sao sends a long one. Senegal still with the ball. Mama Diop brought down there and wins a free kick for Senegal. Mama Diop. Big and giant stature. Been brought down. And this time, Mbayan Sao will see if she can fancy something out of this free kick for Senegal. As they are trailing. Center referee Akona Makalima giving instructions to the players for the free kick will be effected as Sao sends in a long one, is being blocked. Oh, Senegal lose possession to Algeria, and Algeria will see if they can do this. But they couldn't really utilize that. Here comes Senegal. Paul finds a Diop. Some good play there from the Senegal player. Ball still in possession for Senegal. Clearance being made by the Algerian defense. The referee says there was a foul in the process. A build-up for the Senegal. You can understand that. Yeah, was a notch from the back there. Foul in the process, leading to the attack for the Senegal. The beautiful view there. See the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be throwing for Algeria. Diop trying to flick the head out to her colleague. Ball goes straight to Kadifai. She finds Sao. Sao also gets to Nugai. Nugai still with the ball for Senegal. Send the ball back to Adama Sani. Sani sends it to Ndiaye. Ndiaye finds Sao. Sao sends in a long one. It's been dealt with the defense of the Algerians. And there comes a strong play there from the Senegal, but the Algerians are making it difficult for the Senegalese. Nothing seems to be working for the Senegalese, and they need to tweak their strategy. The clock has taken. There was a handball there on Mama Diop. It's going to be a free kick for the Algerians. Mama Diop there for the Senegalese. That was a handball situation there on Diop. Algeria losing possession. It's a free kick for Senegal. Algeria player is down. Now that is Morgan Belkite. Oh, she was caught by her own player. Long ball there, couldn't really get anywhere. As the Algerians looking to get through with that one. Ball goes out of play. And it's going to be an advantage for the Algerians. Marine Dafoe. Foul on Algeria. Algerians are looking to control and manage the game as they are leading up by a goal. There comes Lina. Lina sends in the cross there, but Fai was good in reading that. There comes Senegal. Trying to see if they can have a good link-up play. Mama Diop. Senegal. wins a throw-in for Senegal. We've done 80 minutes at Olympic Stadium in Rabat. And the scoreline still remains the same as Algeria 1, Senegal 0. Flag has been raised. Going to be an opportunity for Algerians. There comes Senegal. Looking to build up from the back. They send the ball to the keeper Kadi Faye. Faye also finds Sao. There comes Babu. A good pressing there from the Algerians, forcing Senegal to send the ball back. There comes Ndiaye. Ndiaye finds Adama Sane on the right hand side for Senegal. Good defending there from the Algerians. And not giving Senegalese any space to exploit. And that has been the game so far in the second half. Senegal finding it very difficult to exploit the defense of the Algerians. There's going to be another substitution that will be made for the Senegal side. Two players will be coming in. Ndeye Kassé coming out for Diallo. And Babu comes out for Diop. As a confirmation of the substitution made, there comes Senegal. Still ball in possession for Senegal. Still holding on with that. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Senegal. Senegal still having the ball. Sends in a long shot. Goalkeeper dealt with that one. It was a long shot but straight to the goalkeeper. Chloe Ngazi didn't really have to move for that one. It was straight to her. That is that one easily there. Good defending from Diop. That's her first touch as she came in. Activity coming from the Algerian side as they make to do double change. Captain Marina Dafoe. Linda Medris coming out. And also Medris comes out for Naili. Done 85 minutes in Olympic Stadium, and it's still Algeria 1, Senegal 0. There comes Lina. Lina sends in a cross there. Goalkeeper had a touch on that. Ball still not cleared well this time. It's been done. And there comes the chase is on. Good defending there from the Algerian player. Ball still in play. Still in possession for Senegal. And there comes Diop. Diop finds Ngoye. Ngoye goes out of play. It's going to be a corner kick for Senegal. Now we can feel some urgency coming from the Senegal side. Corner being whipped there. There's a strong header there from Mama Diop. That was off target there from Diop. She has that towering stature there, but Algerians are making it difficult for her. Ball still kept in play there from the Senegal side. And this could be good for the Algerians. Could it be the second one? And there it is! Goal number 2 for the Algerians. That was a defensive blunder there from the Senegal side. You know what Cardi Faye was thinking there. And that is goal number 2 for Algeria. They are full of smiles there. And that's where it all started. As Oyi sent the ball to Faye, he's under pressure there. And look, that was a good piece of skill there, and that is a lovely shot there from Melissa Betty. A beautiful goal there from Melissa Betty, making it 2 for Algeria. And it's Algeria 2, Senegal 0. Send the ball to Faye. And this is something they shouldn't be doing. Always mounting pressure on Faye, the goalkeeper for Senegal. Referee spotted an infringement there. He says a foul for Senegal. Now there comes Senegal, but seems they are outnumbered there in the midfield. Player being tripped there, and it's going to be a foul for Algeria. And a card being flashed on the Senegal player. And coach Moussa Niaïn Cissé will not be a happy man seeing her side conceding goals like that. And that was a trip there on the Algerian player. And that's a bookable offense. And set gets into the book of the referee. So we'll do 5 minutes of additional time. 5 minutes for Algerians to hold on. And 5 minutes for Senegal to see if they can do the magic here at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. Algeria wins a free kick. Long ball there finds the Algerian player. Looking to dribble past El Maka, but still ball in possession for Algeria. Pass there, couldn't get to anyone there. And there comes Senegal. The ball goes out of play. And going to be an advantage for Algeria. Cross being swung in there. Goalkeeper comes out to deal on that one. It's a long searching goal there, but calmly dealt with the defense of the Algerians. Good link-up play from the Algerians. They look to control every department of the field. There comes the Algerians once again. Trying to show some good feet there, but she was in an offside position. Kadifai finds Ndiaye. There comes Sane. Sane's pass. So not the best from her. Here comes the Algerians. Lina finds Dafoe. Dafoe spread a play to the right hand side, searching for Morgan. The ball was traveling faster than Morgan. Goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Senegal. Long ball there from Senegal, but couldn't really get anywhere. Lovely flick there from the Algerians, but Senegalese defense were quick to react on that. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Algeria. Lina. And that's some good play there from the Algerians. Morgan sends in a long one there. And there comes Lina. Good control and good play there from the Algerians as they look to break free on the right hand side, but this time good reading and good defending there from the Senegalese, and that is it. Center referee Akona Makalima blows her whistle to bring an end of the proceedings here at Olympic Stadium in Rabat. The first game of Group A sees the North African side cruising past over Senegal. And it ended here at the Olympic Stadium is Algeria 2, Senegal 0.
Clearance sales. Max Buy is bringing you a massive clearance sales you don't want to miss. We've got amazing deals on TVs from 32-inch all the way to 75 inches. We have fridges, we have freezers, and we have air fryers to upgrade your kitchen. Air condition from 1.5 horsepower all the way to 3.5 horsepower. This is your chance to grab quality product at a crazy clearance sales. Yeah, Bonnie, don't come here, don't come me. Hurry now. Visit any Max Buy shop nationwide. Don't miss out. To me and so 0594 091 122. You can also visit our website www.maxbuy.com.gh. Once it's gone, it's gone. Go get yours now.
Come back into our studios. Thank you very much for your patience, your time. We've witnessed quite an interesting game as the first match of the Total Energies Women Africa Cup of Nations, and it's gone to the advantage of the Algerians. They've beaten the Senegalese by 2-0 in their first match, thus picking up their first 3 points of the competition in Group A. Once again, you're welcome back into our studios. Nanedu is here with me together with Pamela. Let's take a look at the second half and how the game went for both sides. At this stage, it is just a joyous moment for the Algerians. They worked very hard for it. 2 goals to the good, 1 in the first, the other goal in the second half put paid to the chances of the Senegalese. And what a sight to savor with the ladies, or the girls I should say, dancing their hearts away and clamoring for all the excitement that could come from them. But an interesting game it has been. Nana, 90 minutes of action. We did establish during the halftime break that it was going to be very easy for the Algerians to continue with the controlling of the game. It was going to be very difficult for the Senegalese to even get an equalizing goal.
Before the start of the game, I told you the Algerian team, it's a difficult team to concede, looking at how they played the last AFCON and their qualifiers. They don't score more goals and they don't concede more goals. So they find a way to play their normal game. So after leading by a goal to 0 in the first 45 minutes, I know they can come in the second half, maintain the same scoreline, or even add 1 to it. So I was not really surprised when they came in the second half. They controlled the game, they played their normal game. You can watch that the Senegalese team were struggling to come back into the game. A good 3 points for them. When you look at this particular group, when you get 3 points against Senegal, your chance of qualifying is high, because if you win or draw in your next game, your chance of qualifying, you just have to play your normal game and make sure you'll be part of the 4 teams that will go to the semi-final stage and qualify for the World Cup. Yeah. Most of the teams going to this particular tournament, their first target is to qualify for the World Cup. After that, they start thinking about whether we can win it or not. But the most important thing is, they've improved on what they did the last edition of the AFCON. This time around, they play as a team. This time around, they have star players. They have players who can hold on to the ball. They have players who can take on players individual, one-on-one situation. And that is one thing that is working for the Algerian team. So, good first game against Senegalese team in this particular AFCON.
Pamela, were you surprised that Senegal found it difficult to match up to the Algerians? Because the Algerians had already set the tone in the first half. We saw clearly there was a huge difference between the two. It looks like the Senegalese they didn't have any answers to Algeria's plan.
I wasn't surprised, because the first half they showed up very well, and Senegal, it looked like Algeria wanted it more than Senegal wanted it. Sure. And if you analyze the second half, even at the point, they played most of the game in the half of the Algerians, but they could just hold on. Like Nana said, it's very difficult to score them, and that's it. And because they keep the possession, I think at the point Senegal was frustrated. So, I mean, they were losing the balls where they shouldn't lose the balls.
Exactly.
But on the whole, Algeria, it was impressive. If they go on this run, I'm sure they can do something.
But again, let's also take a look at the reasons that Nana gave, or the implications. They are in a group where you have the defending champions and the hosts. The Moroccans are there. We've not seen Kenya actively yet. We will be holding on to take our viewers through the next game, which will be the opening game between Morocco and Kenya. And that will also give us a fair idea of how strong the opposition is. But I think that if you have beaten Senegal by 2-0, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's done and dusted for you.
For me, let's look beyond the win. They are playing very well.
Okay.
And if they are consistent, I don't know which team, well, unless a team is coming in that will score more goals or do something more than this. They know what to do to win, and they did exceptionally well. For me, I think they will qualify.
You think they will qualify?
Yes.
But we need goals. We need goals in the game. This game has ended by 2-0. The advantage has fallen to the Algerians. But Senegal had a lot more of the possession, although they had equal total shots. The Algerians were more positive with their shots on goal. They had 6 of them as against the 2 shots the Senegalese had, which also clearly indicates that Senegal were not purposeful up front. Although I must admit that the accuracy percentages I don't really agree with. I thought that the accuracy percentages would have favored the Algerians more.
Well, in the middle, Senegal wasn't bad. I mean,
they lifted up their game.
From the defense to the middle, the third is the problem.
The last third.
The second half, we saw a different game.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you look at the first half statistics and the second half, it means Senegal came into the game in the second half. They came into the game,
yes.
Because the possession for the first half was 51-49. That is almost 50-50.
Almost the same.
We come in the second half, that is where Senegalese stress a little. So it tells you it was a better second half performance. But one thing about cup games, you go there to get the results. You don't go there to get the beautiful games. So look at the Algerian team. They were eager to get the results much more than the Senegalese team.
True.
Senegal, they played their normal game. Their mindset going into the game is different from the Algerian team. Algeria, they know they have a proper shape. They know conceding is the most difficult thing from their side. So the most important thing is when they get one goal, we try to protect it. We have the men to make sure they hold on to the possession and make the women to hold on to the possession and get the best out of their girls. And that is one thing that is working for them. So to be honest, if this kind of football is what we are going to see from the Algerian team, even the powerhouse like Morocco, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, they can keep a proper shape and get the best out of the first 90 minutes of the game. If you can beat them, you have to stretch it to extra time to get the result against it. So I'm impressed about what I saw from the Algerian team.
Okay, I'm also looking at their numbers in terms of their ages, and this is quite a young team.
Yeah.
So they've got the exuberance, they've got the flair, the finesse, the skill. It's all there working for the Algerians. But then what happens, or what can happen, or what do you envisage happening should they meet, like some of the names you mentioned, the Nigerians, the South Africans, because they have elder players or they have older players in their team. Will that also bring the best out of a young team like we saw in the Algerian team?
It depends on the approach into that particular game. When you are playing against a team like Nigeria, South Africa, you don't go there to possess the ball that much. You keep your shape and defend well because they have the women who can put pressure on your team. Look at the Ghanaian team. The strength of our team is our attack, where Doris Boudua and other players are playing from. Our weakness is our defense. So when we meet a team like Ghana, make sure the strikers don't get the ball. Doris Boudua on a good day can get a hat-trick against any other team in this tournament.
Sure.
Even the Nigerian team, they join the attack. They have explosive wing backs. Alozi, that player who played in the USA League, quality player in the Nigerian team. Look at the Bayana team. At least build a team for years to get to this stage. So it means when you look at the team coming to this particular tournament, every team and the kind of football you are expecting from them.
Okay.
So when you meet the powerhouse, your approach to the games should be different from playing the average team in this particular tournament.
And I also think the Senegalese came into the game too sure. In our language, what we say, too sure. Because if against the same team, they scored 3-0, they had an advantage over them. So they came into the game maybe more or less like, oh, we've scored them before, we'll find our way around it. And Algeria came also into the game knowing that, hey, these are people who scored us 3. There's a revenge game here.
Exactly.
So you saw that they wanted it more. The character was built and they wanted it more. So they kept their shape. Senegal was fumbling a bit in the third, but hopefully, I'm sure when the tournament travels on, the Algerians will be able to read into the other games and we'll see what they can do.
But then Senegal would also have to maybe live up to expectation in their next game. Because here again in this game, we saw them lose a couple of the chances. We saw them, their imprint in the game, very much so, like you both agreed in the second half, they lifted up their game. I think the finishing wasn't the best on both sides.
Terrible.
Finishing wasn't good, eh?
Not the best from both sides.
Yes.
One thing about this particular game is because of the exposure most of these girls have gotten in the European teams and some of these top teams across the world, when they are playing, the composure is there. That is one thing that is working for most of these girls. When you look at 10 years back, 12 years back, most of these players were in the local league. So, that's exposure. When it comes to international football, they don't have it. But I think this time around, they lack some few things from the local scene, but internationally they've gotten that exposure to play any other team that they come across. So it means something is working for African teams in this particular tournament.
Yes.
Okay. Can we also spare a minute to take a look at the import of playing outside your country and the development, the exposure that it brings? Are we expecting to see a lot more of that level of football in this year's
I think
WAFCON?
so. I think so, because if you watch the football, before you see women chasing ball everywhere, but now see the build. I mean, you can hardly tell the difference with the male teams from the female teams. I mean, watch the way everybody was playing their role very nicely, see the crosses that were coming in. And so I think development outside, I mean, we all know. For instance, you take Ghana, even the stadium, I've been commenting about the stadium since we started. If you have a facility like this, and you have girls being trained on these pitches, you expect them to do better.
Sure.
As compared to, say, ALWAC or, So for me, I think the exposure outside there has imported a lot of quality in, and we are seeing beautiful football. Not only beautiful, but quality game.
Quality football.
I couldn't agree. Previous years, like 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years ago, African Federation will always stick with local coaches when it comes to women's football.
Yes.
But this time, because of the exposure some of these players have gotten outside Africa,
the money that is coming
now, most of these teams going to this tournament, some of them
facilities like this is good. It's what we need to help us boost the development of the game
and coaching.
Yeah.
Sure. Look at the Black Queens team. Head coach is a foreigner. Now, assistant coach is a foreigner. Goalkeepers coach is a foreigner. Video analyst is a foreigner.
It means that the foreigners are better.
So it means there is something missing fundamental in this country.
So we have to invest in the coaches here.
Exactly. I agree. Let's invest in the coaches. Let's also invest in some level of quality infrastructure.
You can't take that away from
because somebody may want to think or would ask, okay, so how come our female football, why do we now have a foreign goalkeepers coach? So which means that we may have gone wrong somewhere. Where did we go wrong? So that quickly we can try and identify. If you talk to the queens and some of the other ladies in the lower divisions, they tell you that yes, if they could have quality pitches, it would have been better. The quality of the game would improve. The coaches would also tell you something similar to that. Because we are not only developing these young girls or these young boys or our football, but we are also developing the people who are supposed to develop the young ones, which are the coaches. And so we can't do one part and leave the other.
Everybody around
work done, zero. So in as much as, yes, we would also want to ask questions, we would also want to see some level of development. Nanedu, back in the day, and if Pamela would bear me out, we had the goalkeepers coach for the Black Queens to be Dora Zuta.
Yeah.
Because Dora herself was a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Dora was in post for Ghana many years.
Yeah.
And so she graduated from there.
Yeah.
So
before Memunatu.
Way before Memunatu.
Yeah.
So let's ask ourselves, what did we invest in Dora Zuta? What did we invest in Memunatu? What did we invest with the other generational goalkeepers who have come to pass? We may have done something wrong. For Issa Hayatu, I remember 1991 when this idea came for women's football. He was one of the strong advocates for Africa to take advantage and participate in these competitions. Yeah. Most of the countries said no. So it was just a handful who went through the
Ghana,
first.
Nigeria.
Exactly. You know. But now it has come to catch on to the extent that Equatorial Guinea have overtaken us. Cape Verde, maybe we'll wait when we play against them, then we'll know their levels. You see, so people have taken the advantage. Yeah. Why?
But it looks like we are back. We are back. When you look at the current team, it looks like we are coming back to the level that we used to have years back. So
okay. Well, I could agree with you to some point, although I would admit that if you want to convince me that we are back, let's start beating Nigeria at their own game. Because we have exactly. But you see, it shouldn't be hard to beat Nigeria, because at some point in time, it was hard for South Africa to beat Ghana, but now they beat us.
Yeah.
You understand? It was hard for DR Congo to match up to Ghana. Now they are all there. So which means that Zambia. We may have taken our foot off the gas pedal.
Isn't it? So
there you go. And so, yes, I agree that in as much as we may need the facilities, let's also take a look at developing the human aspect of it. The coaches, the training of trainers,
I also think the scouting is important. One thing we always leave out is scouting.
Okay.
Because sometimes, just sometimes, if we will invest into that area, for instance, the Black Princesses and the Maidens, they are showing a lot of potential. So we know that in the next few years, Black Queens will not lack.
Yeah.
And if you permit me to go into the male football just a minute, the best of Ghana's Black Star days were when we were having organized under 17 and under 20.
True.
So it's very important. I mean, I was telling somebody during the World Cup that you can pick up foreign players, 10 foreign players who were foreign grown, and bring them into the team and still expect the same quality, because Man City is not Ghana Black Stars.
That's true.
So if you take the Asians and the John Painter, they played in the under 20 together. So even if Asian is in Chelsea and Muntari is in Inter Milan, they understand themselves a bit. So if you come to the female soccer, I believe in the next few years, we'll definitely beat Nigeria. With the way the princesses and the maidens are going.
One thing about the female team too is now most of the players are foreign players.
Yeah.
Those days, Memunatu Sulemana playing locally. Adwabayo playing locally.
But they will start from the princesses.
Playing locally.
Yeah.
This midfielder, Florence Oko, playing locally.
Yeah.
Abetasaki playing locally. Now, look at our best players in the Black Queens. Cynthia playing in Europe.
It's because they had the opportunity.
The exposure is there.
The exposure is there.
Things are different compared to years back.
So imagine somebody from Black Princess is scouted into, say, Marseille in France.
Yeah.
The academy.
Yeah.
In the next 3 years, that same girl coming to the Black Queens will give more than what we have now.
They will polish her
because the understanding will be there. They will string. I mean, they know each other from under 17, under 20. If you go and improve, it will not be too different from what we already know.
Exactly.
So after the training with the academy, like they have the facilities, they have the investment, they put there.
It's all there.
I think in the next few years, Black Queens will be a team to look out for.
Well, I wish that prayer would come early enough, because I'm tired of the Nigerians rubbing our shoulders.
Oh, don't worry. Maybe the next 3 years or 4 years.
Well, and I think it's ironic that every year
will show up.
Every year they tend to have some quality players in their team. They have, and of course, when Nigeria is just like Ghana.
But people should watch out for this Algerian team.
it's a fantastic group of girls assembled here.
One match down, many more to go, so we'll keep an eye on them and see how they can
like I say, it's a marathon, so let's see how they finish. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is what the table looks like for Group A. The Algerians have secured their first 3 points. Senegal will languish at the bottom for now because Morocco and Kenya will be getting onto the field in just a couple of minutes. And let's see how the hosts will deal with the Kenyans. Also, although I also must admit that despite the fact that Morocco have quite a solid team, the Kenyans are also performing wonders towards the eastern part of the continent. And so definitely we would see a lot. This tournament is not only going to be for the known faces or the powerhouses, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, etc. But let's watch out for Kenya. Let's watch out for Malawi. Let's watch out for Cabo Verde, because these are teams that hitherto we may not have put our minds on them as female powerhouses when it comes to African football. But obviously, they have arrived at the party. And so they'll put the fear of God in the other teams, the Cameroonians. Exactly. They would want to be added up to the roll call, as it were. And so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we're looking forward and waiting patiently to see what will happen in that opening fiesta between the host nation, Morocco, and the Kenyans. It's a match that you must stay up and watch, because it is also set to bring the best out of the two sides. Algeria, Senegal dusted. Morocco, Kenya coming up. That's just about it. The Algerians have done very well, and let's see whether the Moroccans can do one step better than their North African rivals. But obviously the game has grown, and like we keep saying, no team is a minnow when it comes to football, be it the men or the women. The class definitely is there. Nana, what would you expect from Morocco-Kenya clash?
Big game. You know, sometimes first game for host nation, there's a little pressure on them. But when they decide to play their normal game, forget about them being hosting, and that pressure comes on the players, I think they should be able to get a 3 points against Kenya.
You think so?
They should.
You don't think the Kenyans can spring a surprise?
You know, it's difficult.
Pressure would be on Morocco.
Yes, because they are hosting it.
Yes.
And they did well the last edition.
The last time around.
I think they went to the final.
They've gotten to the final twice, back to back.
In fact, back to back. They even scored 2 goals. Nigeria came back into the game to win by 3-2.
Yes.
So it means they are not a bad side. And some of these North African countries, they would like to improve on what they did the previous tournament. So that is what I'm expecting from the Moroccan team.
Okay, so that would be a very interesting game to watch out for. And so we'll urge you to stick and stay with us. We're going to do a very quick break, a quick turnaround. When we come back, we will delve into Morocco's opening match against the Kenyans. We'll be back after this break.